So I want to have your take on the album, your personal take on this new record. I remember when I interviewed you for the last time, you told me that the Temple of Shadow process, and Temple of Shadow is the most, arguably the most acclaimed record of Angra, and the
Mhm.
most loved between the fans. You told me that the Temple of Shadows process was so intense and tiring that at the end of it, you didn't want to listen to the album. You wanted to take some time and then listen for it for a while.
Yes.
So, uh, and I remember that you told me that you preferred Rebirth, which has a more traditional heavy metal sound, and that in Temple of Shadows they got too crazy on the progressive stuff. So,
A little bit, yes.
yeah. So, how much did you like this new album, and how do you compare this album to the other three you produced?
Um, well, first of all, it's different mainly because of the vocals, right? Keep in mind, it's a different singer. And for me, that changes everything all the time.
Yeah.
You can keep your basic music, sure, but the vocal presentation, it identifies the music. It really does. It's like if you want to discuss, is Bon Scott better than Brian Johnson? I don't know. They're different, you know. There's still the kind of meat and potatoes thing to it with the guitars, but they progress too. They got very anthematic rock as opposed to their blues band rock that they did with Bon Scott, right? Then they became an arena rock band, you know, somehow keeping that vibe, but progressing. And I think Anger has done exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. You know, I can't give too many details about the songs, of course, you know, but there's plenty of fast stuff. There's plenty of prog stuff. And for me, what I enjoy the most is like arrangements that are not standard, really thought out arrangements. We really worked hard on the arrangements. We did a proper pre-production and we looked for parts and beginnings and middle parts and endings, something that would be special, something that would be unique. They're looking to get all the elements in that you would expect, be it the percussion, be it the classical guitar. You're going to hear lots of incredible string sections, incredible stuff. We're going to have nice choirs. We're going to have all that stuff that I think makes an Angra album great without discussing the song itself. Those are the things I want to have. Now we just have to hope that the songs are good enough that all the fans will like it too.
With that being said, how how tough is for you to mix an album like this with so much elements?
It's not really hard at all. It looks like it would be a lot of chaos, but you can't see it as individual instruments. You see it as groups of things going on. The drums are doing this, the guitars are doing that, bass is doing this, vocals are doing that, the keyboards are doing this. What's important in this song? What am I going to concentrate on, right? And like if there's an orchestra with 300 tracks, I don't see it as 300 tracks. I see it as an orchestra, right? And I just try to make it fit the way I can. And this is part of producing. I'm trying to, when we mix an album, we're trying to get the final painting, you know, really glossed over to make it really appeal to everybody and to hear all the work that we put into it, but at the same side, do what's right for the song, right? So if somebody's, you know, maybe gets lost with their, I don't know, triangle solo, and it's not hearable in the mix or whatever like that, or maybe I removed it, you never know. This is also something that could happen. So when I got a lot of tracks, it might even come to the point where I say, well, we don't need you. We're not going to use you. I tried, but if, you know, this is it's a production. You got to try things, you know. Sometimes you'll have great ideas and you'll get to the final point and realize wasn't such a great idea. Or there's another way to do it, or this is actually a better idea. So having a lot of tracks makes no difference to me. It's actually gives me opportunity to be dynamically creative when it comes to mixing. So I've got no problem with that.
Right.